Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to today's council meeting, our regular council meeting for September 2nd, 2025 at 4:30 p.m., and also known as Pumpkin Spice Latte Month. All right. We want to acknowledge the traditional territories and oral practices of the Blackfoot Nation, which include the Siksika, the Kainai, and the Piikani. We also acknowledge the Tsuut'ina and the Stoney Nakoda First Nation, the Métis Nation, District 4, and all the people who make their homes in Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. We are making this acknowledgement to demonstrate our continuing efforts to work together as we strive for reconciliation through increased and collective learning. All right, we have an agenda, and I'm going to hand it off to Interim CEO Doug Lagore for staff introductions.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's my pleasure to introduce Mark Shantz, our new Director of Recreation. Mark is no stranger to this community, born and raised here, went to school here, knows people around the table, and knows most of the community. So welcome aboard, Mark. We're looking forward to working with you and pleased that you've joined our team. Thank you.
If you want to share anything quickly, you can.
Yeah, my mic's on. I don't have a ton to say. Very excited to be working here. Excited to be able to give back to the community that gave me so much growing up and my family so much. So yeah, excited to get going. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're more than welcome to stay, or you can depart. Oh, you're a brave man. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. We have an agenda before us. Is there any items to add or to delete from this agenda? Seeing none, a motion to approve this agenda moved by Councillor Wardrop that the agenda be adopted. All in favor? Great, thank you. Carried. All right, number 3, we have the minutes of the regular council meeting from July 7th, 2025, and the special council meeting minutes of August 18th, 2025. Did you want to speak to that? All right, thank you.
I do have a request. I'm not sure if it could be fulfilled, but the minutes from our regular council meeting on July 7th, there were 2 motions. One was that the, hold on, let me bring them up here. Oh. Here we go. That, no, sorry guys, I thought I had it here.
Page 6.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Thank you. That the youth, like the YAP pass program and the corporate discount program, they were 2 separate motions. One was defeated, the other one was carried. I was wondering if we could have those votes recorded after the fact, because they just say defeated and carried.
Interim CEO Doug.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's not possible to show a recorded vote unless it was requested at the time. We can't show it at this point now. We do know that some members of council voted against and who voted for, but unfortunately we can't show it as a recorded vote at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, to the motion to approve the minutes as they are, moved by Councillor Idriss that the minutes from the regular council meeting held July 7th, 2025, and the special council meeting of August 18th, 2025 be approved. All in favor of that? And that is carried. Number 4, business rising out of the minutes. Seeing none. And we're going to go on to correspondence and information updates on council conferences and workshops. And Councillor Idriss, Councillor Goodenough, and Councillor Prentice. Do we have Councillor Prentice on the line at this time? No. Okay. All right. Councillor Idriss.
Thank you. With summer and in the time that we had the last quarter, we didn't have a lot of meetings, but I'm just going to go through my committees and just give one or two updates from each one. As you know, I sit on the Brooks Public Library. The library, we did actually meet a couple times during the summer. We are working on budget for next year and where we are going to be. The library is going to celebrate 75 years anniversary next year. So there are plans around that we were looking at. And currently, actually, the library is closed this week. The library was closed yesterday for Labor Day, but will also be closed for the next few days till Friday. And that is for some professional development and some inventory work in the library. Even my son was thinking about going to the library today and then found it closed. So for anybody thinking about going to the library this week, the library is closed, and it's not really closed because, as I said, staff use this time to do professional development, to do some cataloging and inventory work that they need to do in the building. Similarly, I also sit on the Shortgrass Library System Board. We are actually, of course, the usual work goes on, but one of the big projects we are working on now is an upgrade to the server because, as you know, Windows 10 wouldn't be supported or is not supported so soon. So they are, we got some funding from the government, a matching funding from the government, and we are going to upgrade to 11, and that also will support many of the libraries that are part of the system. There will be some support that the libraries are going to get through that, and our Brook Library also is part of that, and also some plans to integrate and be aligned with that. Joint shared services, as you know, we are going through some changes for terms of reference and things like that. There was some update that came to the council meeting the last council meeting we had, and there will be some more coming up to introduce some changes to how joint shared services meet and does their work. The BRZ, we again met a couple times during the summer. We had a couple events. There was the street fair and also an antique car show coming in September. Finally, Safe Communities Committee haven't met for a while now, and that's due to some of the changes that's coming up regarding the police committee. Again, this is something that we have discussed before, and council is aware of and taking some steps towards. So this is my update.
Great, thank you very much. I'll give a brief update on our Silver Sage Committee. We're working on, as many of you know, we received a donation of land that's connected to the property from the EID, which we're grateful for, and our plans, and we're starting to work on now, and we're going to start to roll out a campaign on a new campground. We believe it's going to be about a 90 units or more campground, hopefully to start the next year. And as we continue with that, we'll be working with the county and the city and stakeholders to bring the best campground in the middle of nowhere, to our area. And so we're looking forward to that. So that's what we've been really focusing a lot on with the Silver Sage. And that's all I'm going to actually share for my committees. The rest of them have been on summer break, as Councillor Dries shared about joint services and the changes that are happening there. I know we have a meeting next week to finalize some things, but that'll be my report. And Councillor Jessica.
Yeah, I just, if with your permission, Mayor, comment on, since Councillor Prentice isn't here to share anything about the landfill, which was quite high on everybody's priorities recently. Like landfills have plans for responding to disasters like floods and fires in the areas, but in this case, it was unexpected that the disaster was a landfill. And if you look at the satellite track of the storm damage, it's about 200 kilometers long, and the landfill is right in the center of the worst part of it. And if you drive down the 36 past the landfill, you'll see that immediately adjacent to the landfill, the transmission towers To call them pretzels would be an understatement. So anyway, there was a severe storm, lots of damage, especially the buildings. Both the old and new scale houses had windows facing west, and they were blown right in. And I've seen videos of the interiors of the offices, and it's just wet and shredded paper and walls and floors and ceilings over everything. So the computers were wrecked. Everything essentially was destroyed. And they're still in the process of restoring that. But the roads were flooded. You needed a 4x4 to get to some of the cells. And actually, we should be amazed that they were up and running again in 2 days. So they did, there was a reason that they were closed. They got things up and going as quickly as they could. And after the event, they did not charge for the large quantities of storm debris they received. So they did what they could to help out once they were up and running again.
Thank you for that. I know Mayor Petrie mentioned this last meeting, but thanks to our emergency services, to our citizens, and to our city workers and county workers, just for all their hard work to get us back on track, and it's looking good. And so I know the garbage, or the landfill, my apologies, the landfill took a big hit, and so we're grateful for that it's up and running again. All right, to the motion, all in favor of the reports? All right, thank you. Carried. All right, on to some business here. Policy L-001 to 007, reimbursement of expense policy. And that will be Manager Owens.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mayor and Council. Administration updated the reimbursement of expenses policy after the Council Remuneration Committee provided their recommendations, and Council approved this policy in October 2024. However, administration is recommending some additional changes, including meals to be reimbursed at cost when receipts are provided rather than $23 per meal. Administration shall book the hotels and flights at their discretion, and any deviation from the arranged travel will require approval from the CAO. Expense and per diem claims must be submitted within 60 days, and there was some changes to the expense approval for staff because of some position and title changes. The policy was presented at the August 18th Council Committee meeting, and no changes were provided. And this policy will come into effect November 1st when the new council term starts. And therefore, administration is recommending that the policy is approved.
Any questions at this time? Okay, I thought it was very self-explanatory. All right. Moved by Councillor Adrice that Council approve policy L-001-007 entitled reimbursement of expenses. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Legislation Compliance Check, LLC. CEO Lagour.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it is my recommendation that we withdraw our request to the province to proceed with a legislative review. In my 50-plus years' experience, and from what I've observed in the 4 months I've worked here, we are in compliance with all legislation. Minutes are being prepared properly. All records are being properly restored. And we're going into election here, and there's a heavy workload on staff, and this compliance check just puts further stress on staff by having to do the additional review in conjunction with the provincial people, providing them with the information, documents, etc. My recommendation is that we send a letter to Alberta Municipal Affairs to advise that we no longer require the legislative compliance check. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'm prepared to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions from council? Seeing none, we'll go to the vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Jessica that council approve the land sale of 416 and 420 of Meadowbrook Drive East, lots 5 and 6, block 4, plan 09-12797 for the amount discussed in closed session. And that will be Director Tiffin.
Thank you. Through you, Deputy Mayor, to Council. Staff received an offer to purchase 2 city-owned lots in the southeast sector, and the lots were located at 416 and 420 Meadowbrook Drive East. The lots have been listed for sale on the city's website since 2010, and the list price for each lot was $59,755. Council reviewed an initial offer during the August 18th Council Committee meeting in closed session, and a counter offer was presented to the buyer, which the buyer accepted. So at this time, staff is recommending that Council approve the land sale of 416 and 420 Meadowbrook Drive East.
Great, thank you. Is there any questions from council? Seeing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that council approve the land sale of 1716 and 1720 2nd Avenue East, Plan 0511404, Block 6, Lot 41 and 42, for the amount discussed in closed session. Director Tiffin.
And thank you. Once again, staff has received an offer to purchase 2 different city-owned lots, also located in the southeast sector. The lots are located at 1716 and 1720 2nd Avenue East, and the lots have been for sale on the city's website since December 2024. The list price for the first lot is $74,267, and the second lot is $73,282. Council reviewed an initial offer during a closed session on August 18th, and a counter offer and terms were presented to the buyer. The buyer then accepted these terms, and staff is now recommending that the land sale be officially approved.
Perfect. Is there any questions from council? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you very much. Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that council approve the development permit of 25-D-85 with the following conditions, and the list of conditions are there for your reading. And we'll go back to Director Tiffin.
And I will hand it over to Development Officer Boulay.
Thank you. So the City of Brooks has received a development permit application for grading and excavating to develop new soccer fields at 75 17th Street East. So it's the property directly south of the Quad Ball Diamonds. This property is currently zoned direct control in Land Use Bylaw 1412, and as such, all development permit applications made in this district must be brought to Council to act as the development authority for consideration. So the proposal is to excavate and grade to develop the soccer fields, and that will include a parking lot on the east end of the subject property. Underground sprinklers will also be installed, but no permanent structures will be installed on the site. The complete application and corresponding site plans are attached for council's reference. Staff have been in regular communication with nearby residents throughout the planning process. We've gathered feedback through meetings, emails, phone calls, and it has informed the approach of the site design and buffering between the residential areas and the proposal for the excavation for soccer fields. To address concerns that were raised by residents regarding the proximity to those homes, there is a subdivision application currently underway which will divide the parcel. This will create a 2.05 hectare municipal reserve lot directly abutting the residential neighborhood to the west, which will serve as a buffer between the soccer fields and the residential subdivision. As well, the parking lot has been located at the far east end of the property off of 17th Street rather than at the end of 14th Street. So that'll direct traffic flow towards the other side of the lot and should put less strain on that residential area. The fields, which will see the most use for the longest time frame each summer, will be located on the east end of the parcel, farther away from the residences. At the time of drafting this memo, there had been no comments received from adjacent landowners, so we did circulate the final site plans to the adjacent landowners. However, after drafting this memo, we did receive one response from an adjacent landowner that lives in the Greystone subdivision, and I'm going to read that for council. And I'm going to read that verbatim. The response from the adjacent landowner read, "As a resident of East Brooks, we are concerned about creating a new hangout for all the new Canadians who gather and loiter in all of our public facilities paid for by our extremely high tax dollars. There has to be a more reasonable location besides the highest property taxed residential area in the city. So that comment was the only one received, and I would say that that wouldn't be considered a valid planning reason to deny the application. So therefore, council has two options. They can deny development permit application 25D85, or they can approve development permit application 25D85 with the conditions listed, or they can approve the development permit application with amendments to any of the conditions listed. Thank you.
Well, you've got my blood boiling, and that's a very disappointing comment to hear from any resident in our city, and that type of comment is not welcomed here. And I look forward to this project going through. Those are my comments on it. But I did want to make another comment. I'm just curious. Now, this is for excavation and grading activities. I believe I saw in another plan the idea of bathroom facilities. This isn't the complete final draft, or is this the final draft? And then what happens with the bathroom situation?
So this is the complete final draft that's being brought forward to develop the fields. There isn't an inclusion for any bathroom facility to be constructed at this time. I believe the intent was that the bathrooms could be shared with the existing ones that are at the ball diamonds. I would also note that other soccer fields within the city haven't had the requirement to develop bathrooms at the same time as a soccer field, or even, I don't even think any of the other soccer fields have specific facilities for bathrooms. But Director Shiffman, did you have anything?
I know that the long-term plans that Grassland Soccer Association has is to hopefully have a clubhouse one day, which would include bathrooms, change rooms, that sort of thing. But at this time, they don't have either the capacity nor the funding available to do such a development. So they want to get the fields built first, share space at the playground at the Quad Ball Diamonds, and hopefully come to an agreement to utilize the already constructed washrooms that are located at the Quad Ball Diamonds.
Thank you very much. I'll open up for questions. Councillor Wardrop, please.
I do have a question about the parking lot, but before I get to that, yeah, like I don't know if you can hear my pulse beating through, but those comments from that resident are very, I would even say distressing to me. I would just like to say, for the public record and whoever's listening, yeah, I just want to take the opportunity to, in the strongest words possible, denounce this open racism that's unfortunately, pardon me, that we've just been hearing constantly. It's very upsetting. Yeah, I really highly encourage the residents of Brooks who are hearing these comments, whether you're reading them or hearing them, to call them out. Because people's grievances that they may have over soccer fields or RCMP response times or like literally whatever else, and those grievances being blamed on the residents of our city is unacceptable. And I'm tired of reading it and hearing it, and I know lots of other people are. So yeah, it's incredibly frustrating and demoralizing, and I'm sick of hearing it. And so sorry that you had to read that, Ms. Boulay. But I'm glad that, at least here's a platform for us to at least call it out, and people are listening. That caught me off guard, so maybe I would have been able to say that in a more eloquent way, but that's what I have to say about that. Now, I do have a question about the parking lot. Are there any concerns by the development permit or the department here that the parking lot will be too small? Will that be large enough? It's hard to tell if I compare the picture between the kind of the diagram of the proposed layout, and then if I look back on where the Quad Diamond parking lot is, it's hard to see the difference there. So, and it looks like it could be a little small.
So, yeah, so just looking at the site plans that were provided, it looks like the width of the field is going to be 125.85 meters. A standard parking stall in the land use bylaw is 2.9 meters. So it would be 43 parking stalls just on the one edge there at 125.85 meters. So there is also the existing parking lot above that, which is utilized for the quad ball diamonds. I don't know how many stalls exactly fit on there, but I would assume that this parking lot. Yeah, like I think it looks like you'd be able to do parking on the west and the east side of that. So then that would be like 86 parking stalls total if you could do the 43 on each side.
So will that be adequate? Just, looking at how many vehicles would be parked usually if we have all those soccer fields together. When the soccer was taking place at Eastbrook, I don't know how many vehicles would be parked there, but I would guess that there'd be around already that 80 number. I don't know.
Through the chair to Councillor Wardrop, what Grassland Soccer Association has indicated is that the majority of the high use times are during what they call the house league season, which is like what we think of as late April, May, June, when they have U5, U7, U9, U11. And those nights, they've never had all in one location before. This year, they did have soccer going on at Griffin Park School and Evergreen. And I wouldn't necessarily have guessed that there would be 80 vehicles there. I know on Evergreen Park Close, there was never that many. But for that very short period of time when their house league is going on, if there did happen to be 100 cars or 100 parking stalls needed, they would be able to overflow into the quad ball diamond parking lot. The rest of the year, when they have their rep and their more competitive soccer that's going on, which extends later into August, there would be nowhere near that much requirement for parking.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd just like to add too, though, also that the sign committee met and we put up signs of no parking on 14th Street East. I know some of the residents had concerns about the use of the quad ball diamonds and maybe that there'll be a soccer traffic flow. So we did put up residential parking. So that'll help, I believe, alleviate and make sure that people are moved over to where they're supposed to park. And so, all right, to the motion, all in favor? All right, that is carried. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go on to bylaw 2520. Moved by Councillor Idriss that bylaw 2520 be read a second time. And who's reading that? Manager Romans.
Thank you. Through the chair to Deputy Mayor and Council. Council recently approved the city joining the Newell Regional Emergency Partnership, which includes the County of Newell, the Town of Bazzano, the Village of Dutchess, and Village of Rosemary. A bylaw must be passed by all of the partner municipalities, and this bylaw received first reading at the June 16th council meeting, and council did not provide any recommended changes at that time. All partner municipalities must have a council motion to enter into the agreement as well as appoint the Director of Emergency Management. There has been a small change to the agreement, which is Schedule A of the bylaw that was previously included in the council package. The neighboring municipalities that may have been invited to agency meetings and events were named, and now those names have just been removed, which is why the bylaw is being presented for second reading as amended. Therefore, administration recommends that council provide second reading as amended and third and final reading to the bylaw, that the city enter into the Newell Regional Emergency Partnership Agreement with the County of Newell, Town of Bazzano, Village of Dutchess, and Village of Rosemary, and that the city appoint Stuart Lukes, Newell Regional Fire Chief, as the Director of Emergency Management.
Okay, is there any questions at this time? Councillor Idriss.
So is this position a regional position? So all the municipalities are appointing the same person, or? Okay.
think that was a nod, yes. Okay, thank you. Yes, all right. To the motion, all in favor? And carried. Okay. Moved by Councillor Juska that bylaw number 2520, being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta, being a bylaw to establish a regional emergency advisory committee, agency and planning and coordinating group that includes the County of Newell, the Town of Bazzano, the Village of Dutchess, the Village of Rosemary, and the City of Brooks, be read a third time and adopted. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that the City of Brooks enter into the Newell Regional Emergency Management Partnership Agreement with the County of Newell, Town of Bazzano, Village of Dutchess, and the Village of Rosemary. All in favor? And carried. Okay. All right. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that the City of Brooks appoint Stuart Lucchese, Newell Regional Fire Chief, as the Director of Emergency Management, DEM. Any questions? Question? Or all in favor? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. All right, letter B. Bylaw 2521, amendment to the land use bylaw of 1412. Moved by Councillor Juska that bylaw number 2521, being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta, to amend bylaw number 14-12, being the land use bylaw, be introduced and read a first time. Any questions on that? All in favor? Oh, yeah? You're good. Okay, sorry. My apologies. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that a public hearing be held on October 6, 2025 at 5 p.m. to gather public input regarding bylaw number 25-20. All in favor? Great, thank you. All right. Letter C. Bylaw 2522, amendment to the land use bylaw 1412. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that bylaw number 25-22, being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta, be amended number 14-12, being the land use bylaw, be introduced and read a first time. And do we need anyone speaking to that or no? All right. All in favor? We are good. Thank you. Carried. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that a public hearing be held on October 6, 2025 at 5 p.m. to gather public input regarding bylaw number 25-22. All in favor? All right, carried. One more bylaw reading here so far. Bylaw 2523, Southeast Sector Structure Bylaw or Plan Bylaw. And this is moved by Councillor Nesbitt, that bylaw number 2523, being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta, being a bylaw to adopt the Southeastern Sector Area Structure Plan, be introduced and read a first time. Any questions or comments? Is it going to you? No? All in favor? And that's carried. Moved by Councillor Dries that the public hearing be held on October 6, 2025 at 5 p.m. to gather public input regarding bylaw number 2523. All in favor? And that is carried. All right, is there questions from the media? Seeing none? Okay. Moved by Councillor Idris that council close the meeting to the public for agenda items 9.A, land matters as per section 19, ATIA, and B, or 9B, personnel as per section 29, ATIA at 5:04. And motion to that? All in favor? Perfect, thank you.